Today I've got three knives here that I have not even so much as looked at in a while. Um, Unfortunately, because I do actually really like these. Alright, so I was digging through my knife box and I was looking at, what I had that I haven't talked about yet, and I found three from the same manufacturer that some of you might have heard of, some of you might not have. It's Bear & Sons Cutlery. I used to subscribe to a monthly knife subscription, and I'd get random knives in the mail, which is why through that 2 years or so that I did that, I've kind of learned that I'm not a big fan of Gerber and Columbia River, just because I didn't think they made the greatest stuff, with exceptions to some. But Bear & Sons are one that I probably would not have considered buying, because I never heard of them, didn't know much about them. American-made company, if that means anything to you. And I do have a third one that's not pictured, but they have three different companies under the Bear & Sons Cutlery name. One of them is Bear Edge, which is this one. This is the model number is 108, and the blades are on these two, well, the three that I have with me are all 440 high carbon stainless. The one that I don't have is similar to this one in the fact that it's a liner lock and that it's got an assist with ball bearings. This knife, as you can see, it's dirty. The aluminum scales, the paint is coming off. This has been a very solid knife. They have it listed on their website with an MSRP of like, I don't know, $65, but that's just the MSRP. They don't cost that much. These are ones that I really hadn't come across in any of the local stores to me, so that's why I was totally unfamiliar with them when they had arrived, and I've quickly become quite a fan of them. The next one here is a model 112. This one bears the Bear & Son Cutlery name. It's pretty nice little frame lock. No frills, no thrills. It's a plain old knife, but I do like it a lot. There is no spring assist of any kind. But it's a really nice little knife. Super sharp out of the box. Can't really complain about it too much. If you've never heard of them, they're definitely worth checking out, as all of their higher end knives, the three that I have here, are all made in the United States, which is kind of hard to find, without paying a lot more money than what these cost. The last one I've got is a butterfly knife, and this one did not come through the subscription. I did purchase this one on my own. I was at a hardware store on vacation, and they had their knives all 30% off, and this is what I came home with. This thing, I love this thing. There's no wiggle in it at all. Very solid knife. It's practically a fixed blade at this point. It is very solid. Now the one thing you'll notice is when I try to close it, the blade kind of stops right there. So you do need to force it if you're into like doing flips and tricks with them. This probably ain't a good knife for you. They do make a lot more butterfly knives that are very high end compared to this, but I think I got it for like $50 or whatever, and I can't complain. Very thick piece of stainless steel. The spine is probably 1/8 of an inch thick, maybe a little thicker. The downside that I have is, if you notice, for even $50, it's a solid knife, but the pins are all, riveted. One of these days I might try to drill those out and try to get actual ones in there that make disassembly a little easier, just for cleaning purposes, and also just to make the pivots a little more serviceable. I have a lot of confidence in this knife. In fact, it was my deer hunting knife for a while, because it's just that solid of a knife. Been a real big fan of this one since I've had it. It's just starting to get dirty, so it doesn't open and close very smooth anymore. See, now that I got it closed, there's like a little wall there. The blade won't open until you kind of pop it out of there. And like I said, just can't really get in there and get it clean. I don't know if you can tell by looking at it, but there is no gaps, you know, between the handle and the knife blade. So there is absolutely no wiggle, and there is no way to get in there and get that cleaned out. So one of these days I'll drill those pins out and try to replace them with something that's a little less permanent, and something that could be disassembled and maintained a little bit better. But if you haven't heard of Bear & Sons Cutlery, I do recommend checking them out, especially if you are a fan of knives made in the United States. To me, that's not so much I try to buy what I think is a good value for the money. And I do think it's a bonus that it's made in the United States, but I don't look at that as a necessary requirement. And some people do, and if you do, then you might want to check these out, because, you know, none of these knives on here, the butterfly knife I think I paid, like I said, like 50 bucks for, but most of these I think you could probably buy off Amazon or something for, you know, 30-40 bucks. And honestly, that's not a bad price for an American made product if that's something that's really important to you.